Big what's up to everybody, welcome back to the channel. My apologies for the late Sixers video, but we are back and better than ever. This team definitely does not give me or give a lot of us passion to even follow them, but we do what we must. It is already December 7th on the calendar, which not only means that the year 2022 is almost out of the door, which is wild to begin with, but our hometown basketball team, the Philadelphia 76ers, have completed over 27% of their regular season schedule and looking to become fully healthy going into the rest of the year. And as a fan, much like yourself listening to this video, we all have high expectations for this squadron come postseason, and I have one thing to say. I have no idea where this team is going. In this video, I will be discussing the 76ers and their season up to this point, taking a close look at their most recent games, and answering the question, what can they do to get back on track? Sub a brother up for more unique Sixers content because you know what we do here. We got a lot of videos coming down the pipeline this month, and you don't want to miss out on any of them joins, all of the good stuff. Also, good looks to everybody who just watched my skit over the weekend at the Philadelphia Zoo. The visual is on the screen as you see right now. Quick plug, y'all should definitely go back to the zoo if y'all have a chance, because I had a blast, yo. And I think, you actually have more of a appreciation of the animals and critters there once you are older. But enough plugs and chatting. Without further ado, let's get to the video. All right, so after 24 games, your Philadelphia 76ers sit at the 7th seed in the Eastern Conference and are only about 7.5 games out of first place. Boston is actually doing its thing right now, unfortunately, but we don't have to get into that right now. Now, I, for one, admit that I'm very proud of the way that the team has battled through injuries the last few weeks without their actual big three, as I know I'm not the only one in the tri-state area who believed that the sky was falling just a few weeks ago when everybody was hurt. The determination, depth, grit, and yes, coaching that occurred in South Philadelphia during that time frame needs to be applauded. During those games without Joel Harden and Maxey, the team actually went 3-1 and even blew some teams out in the process. Now, of course, we're going to deep dive into those, so let's get into it. So the first game, and honestly the biggest one in my opinion, was against the Brooklyn Nets on November 22nd, where we won 115 to 106. Obviously, we were not supposed to win that game, and the Sixers never win that game. Big matchup, Ben Simmons coming back to Philadelphia, first time playing. We always, get, punked and never show a good jump. But this one was different. The team actually played for the city, and I wonder why we can never do this with our actual stars out there. But who knows? No, we actually know why. Tobias played a hell of a game during that joint. Toby been on time. He told y'all to eat his crumble cookies and not the whole chocolate kind. Doing everything he had to do. Now, I was honestly scared when he went down with his actual ankle injury. I thought he was done too. But no, he really led the squad where they needed to be led. And the bench stepped up in their new roles. We really punked the Nets and been back to Brooklyn. And it's wild because you could tell that KD and Kyrie really wasn't even into the game. I believe KD only had 16 shot attempts. It didn't seem like they were trying to win for Ben. The next joint, we had back-to-back wins against the Orlando Magic on November 25th and November 27th. Where we collectively won 240 to 202. These games were won through a mixing of coaching, team play, and a sprinkle of Shake Milton, which we will get into a little bit later. The final win came against the Atlanta Hawks, which I myself attended. I was looking to sell my ticket, but nobody copped. And I'm actually glad that they did not, because I got to see a good jaunt of a game. Now, this was Embiid's first game back, so I guess it really doesn't count in terms of the injury games per se. But again, these were team wins. This was a team win as Joel Embiid did not find his footing until around the middle of the third quarter. Other than that, I do need to highlight the fact that the Sixers were down 18 points at one point in the game, and still ended up winning that jaunt, a good sign moving forward. Now, we would eventually go on to lose the next 3 games with Joel back, getting fried by the Cavs, kind of understandable, and losing to the Memphis Grizzlies, which is definitely not understandable as we had a chance to win that game. But with the context of the big fella working his way back into the mix, I will allow it for now. Now, last night's game against the Rockets, that whole game just pissed me the hell off. We obviously did not deserve to win that game. The fact that our stars were the ones that lost that game at the end. I give James Harden somewhat of a pass, not necessarily because we don't have time, but Joel Embiid drawing. Drawing, bro. Going back to the whole main point, I've seen a lot of people saying that the squad plays better without Joel Embiid. And I mean, sure, we do play a better brand of basketball, of team basketball per se, without a big stop plug in the middle of the paint who commands the ball on ISO situations. But if you really are going to sit here and act like, you know, this ragtag team of lower star players with Glenn Rivers at the coach is going to go deep into the playoffs without a star, then Lord be with you. I have nothing else to, you know, say. But I will say, Glenn coaches better when he has lesser talent, which is amazing and shows that like he gets too starstruck when he has players of higher caliber. So yeah, what have we learned the last few weeks? If y'all remember, I made a video a few weeks back giving my actual opinion on what we would find out with the team in the Big Three's absence. I looked to Joel Embiid upping his MVP odds, which became null due to his own injury, but I also looked for Glenn Rivers and him stepping up in his coaching role, which he did, and I never really had a doubt on that just because he actually is a decent coach. There's a disconnect of him holding superstar players accountable, which is crazy because he came in here after Brett Brown on the guise of being that coach who would hold players accountable. We already know Ben left because of that. I just don't know, like, going back to the actual Rockets game, I found it disrespectful that he didn't give Tobias the ball at the end of the game. He gave it to James. Yes, now James Harden is the, you know, superstar leader, but like Tobias was the one who like actually kept us in that joint. So I don't know how that works out. If I was Tobias, I would be pretty annoyed. We also need to talk about the Shake Milton and DeAnthony Melton pairing that really came through during these games. And let me tell you, like, they exceeded my expectations tenfold. Melton was one thing. We have been waiting for him to assimilate into his actual new role and larger responsibility in Philadelphia. Bull had many clutch shots with the ball in his hands and overall hustle. But man, Shake Milton came out of nowhere, fam. Bull was almost dropping triple doubles the last few games, yo. Amazing. Like, dog, where has this man been the last few years? Look at these stats the last few games. He has career highs in 3-point percentage, field goal percentage, assists, and rebounding. Now, I know he is in a contract year, you know, so he's probably upping his stats on purpose. But damn, bro. Funnily enough, Milton definitely did show a few flashes of his game last season before his back injury derailed his year. But going back on the original train of thought, along with Milton, the bench and our depth has been playing mightily fine the last few games. And not only capable, but are needed with time on the court to actually show what they can do. Players like Paul Reed, George Niang, you know, obviously stars will get more minutes long term, but Rivers and company and coaching company have to implement a scheme that gets everybody involved and not just Harden and Embiid. It is the only way we are going to win games this season. So the question is, how are they actually going to do that? Because we all know the coach loves to keep his star players in for long. I would look towards, you know, Harden increasing his actual catch and like shoot opportunities, as well as expanding his mid-range game that will allow the ball to, like, you know, move around more and not just be stagnant. And I wouldn't mind honestly seeing maybe a Maxey, Shake, and Melton lineup. We would obviously be small, but I think the speed and three-point shooting as well as craftiness could actually be a good joint. Embiid and Harden are going to have to buy in on spreading the actual wealth. Now, we know it's going to be a lot of ISO ball to begin with, since that's their, you know, styles between those two. But I believe it'll help cohesiveness and overall expanding the ceiling of the team to get everyone involved going into the postseason, especially when it might be needed if those two aren't having the best games. So yeah, Harden returned last night and looked okay. Obviously, it's going to take some time for him to get back into game shape. But keep in mind that him and Embiid have only played 7 games together this year. So the sky is still the limit. They are 2-5 in those games, which are bad as hell. Overall, I'm not really sure where I'm at mentally with this team. I think we're in okay shape, but only time will tell. Still believe that we need to make a consolidation trade to give us back a wing. And the sad thing is, a lot of teams are saying the same thing, so who really knows? But management and the front office and coaching are really flying under the radar until then, I think, going back to even when the Phillies were playing well, with the Eagles playing well, not really, Bulls aren't really that mad at the Sixers, but that's going to come eventually because this team should not be losing to the Rockets on some nut-ish, yet that's what we do. So we stand at 500 going into game 26 of the season. I think we play the Lakers next, so we're going to see how that is. I want to thank everybody for pulling up and listening to A Brother Think. Like, comment, share, subscribe with a Sixers Fiend if you feel so inclined. On a scale of 1 to 10, how panicked are you on your hometown basketball team? Personally, I've checked out. As always, the Bulls are mad because the process worked. My name is Kyan, and I will see you next time. Peace.